Hello everyone, my name is Juliet and I'm a holistic and transformational coach. So I've taken over the challenge for 10 days, which in the next 10 days we're going to be together every day at 6 o'clock. And I'm going to talk you through and take you in a journey which I really hope there is going to be something that you would benefit from. I'm sure you will. And also I'll introduce you to the methods which I'm working with, and today I'm going to tell you the story of my own development, and I'm going to tell you how I've come to choose those two methods, what was, what made me choose them, and how I knew that was the right thing for me. And I hope I will inspire you if you haven't found your purpose or something like this. Believe me, I found it with ease, thanks to, to God, to the universe. He took me to the right people, right places, and so on. What I've realized at the end, no matter what I do, in terms of like searching before that, actually, before I found it, no matter if I go to numerology, so something like this, they will always tell me the same thing. And actually, they will just confirm that what I was looking for, it was within me, but I just couldn't recognize it. And this is with most of us, this is how we are. So, as I said, I'm holistic coach. And why holistic and transformational? First, because I like to work with something that is beyond our logical state of mind. So, we have psychology and there is lots of logic. We have all this, analytical psychology and all of this kind of thing. So for me, I always knew since I was little that there was something beyond that. So I was searching for something more. I was searching for our soul. What are the answers of our soul? My main clue was why people, when they grow up, why they become so unhappy. What happens there? What happened in terms of relationships? What happened with all of this kind of thing? So I was like, because I was a very happy child, I could not really understand, and I'm still, very positive person, and I see things differently, but not everybody is like that. And we're all different. So, I just had to come to terms to accept this, and I was also trying to understand. Okay? So I started, the first book properly in self-development I read, which is The Power of Your Mind. I don't remember the name of the person who wrote that book, but it's very famous book. And that made me realize that we can manifest everything in our life, which I started doing. And since I was probably 19 years old, I was manifesting everything consciously. Before that was unconscious. As I was saying, I was searching, and I always knew that I wanted to do seminars, I wanted to do programs, I wanted to do sessions and help people in terms of their mindset and state of mind and their well-being and everything. But I didn't know how I'm gonna get there. I didn't know what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna learn all this information, because I have this gift. I will talk with somebody for like 10 minutes, and then I will see in their soul, I will see where they go wrong, I will see what needs to be adjusted, what needs to be fixed a little bit, or maybe just healed a little bit. And I'll make them cry, because I ask them questions which are so deep into their soul, and then I leave them there. And that was before, when I was little, when I was like not little, but like a teenager. And then I didn't feel good about that, because I was thinking, okay, I want to do something more. I want to help these people, I can get that further away, they meet somebody they don't know, they never met before, and they can open their heart, they can open their soul, they can share such a good, such a deep information. Then they'll get to the core of it, and then I don't know what to do with this, that was for me, how I can help them in this situation. So from there, guys, I'm Bulgarian, and I finished school, and then I wanted to go abroad and things like that. And then I decided that I'm gonna come here. I came as a nanny, but then I was still searching, because when you go into a different country, you need to adjust, you need to know how things work and everything, but still I was searching. So I decided, because I was so good at communicating, I was so good with people and everything, I'm gonna do marketing. But then I was like, marketing is not for me. I don't wanna, I don't wanna study the psychology of selling and everything. I want something more. Then I decided I'm gonna be like a nursery teacher, because I was really good with kids. Then let me go there. But then I was still searching and searching and searching, and then I went to do a mediation course, which was conflict resolution on workplaces. But then I was like, yeah, that's very interesting, there's a lot of psychology in it, but that's not for me for sure. I wanted to go deep, I wanted to dive deep in it. And then I since I decided mediation is not for me and this kind of things, then I kind of gave up. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to where to go. Actually, before that, I tried to apply for a specific psychological field, which was a master degree, but then I decided that I'm not gonna do it, which was to study Jungian psychology. But then I was like, no, I don't want to do this. That I didn't felt it was my thing. I was quite disappointed back then. But then I was thinking, okay, maybe that's not really the right thing. So following after this, I had a break in the summer. One summer, I remember hot summer day like today, and I was feeling really down. I normally love the sun. I love the hot weather and everything. I've had everything that I've asked for, and then I was still unhappy. I was like, there's something more for me, there's something beyond this, I'm here to do something else, to help people in a different way, Well, even though I loved my my job as a teacher, but it wasn't this I don't know, it wasn't full, it wasn't complete, there was something more. So from there, I was looking at a course which was in Bulgaria, which was exactly to speak in public and to do seminars and to be trained as a coach. So I was like, that sounds, really good. But there I had the difficulty. I had to go back to Bulgaria. I had to take time out of work. I had to do this and that. I had lots of challenges in this on the path. But I did not stop, I did not stop searching. This is the main thing, guys. If you want to find your mission, you should not be afraid to make a step. You should not be afraid to make an action. And believe me, there's no mistakes. Nothing is a mistake. I'm telling you my path, which I went from one thing to another, and one thing was wrong, second was wrong, in my head wrong. It wasn't wrong because everything that I've done, it gave me skills to be who I am. So for example, the mediation course, it taught me how to listen to people, because I'm very outspoken. I love talking, and before that I would not let people talk. I'll go out with somebody, I'll talk for the whole time, then I'll leave and I'll be like, oh my god, I don't know anything about this person. Maybe you can recognize yourself in that. So it teach me that, and it showed me that this wasn't my thing, and this is a great gift, because you can get stuck in one thing and then it's not going to fulfill you, but you can lie to yourself and you can be like, yeah, because I don't want to make a next step, I don't want to change something, then I'm just going to keep myself where I am. Don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to make a step. Don't be afraid to try something different. Yeah, because your soul, sometimes the whispers of the soul are so small, you can barely hear them, but sometimes the soul screams, and this is when we have an anxiety, when we have panic attacks. This is our soul trying to tell us, wake up, you are not where you should be, you need to do something about it, just get up and do it. Nobody will do the work for us, only we need to do our work. We can do the actions, okay? So I decided that I'm gonna go to this course in Bulgaria. So I went there. It was amazing. The best decision I've ever taken in my life, even though I had to travel every month to go for 4 days and things like that. And then it was a challenge, but it was amazing. So I'm so grateful to the teacher I had there, because she told us, listen guys, in therapy you have this and this methods, and these are the best. So you pick whichever one you want. So from there, and also I had a person in my group who was doing numerology, and she did my numerology. She told me my purpose. That was exactly what I just discovered. I was already there. I already found it, and that's when just the confirmation came. So, and after that I came back from the course, you know, when the course finished and everything, and then I decided I'm gonna do seminars in London. So I had to find a place, you know, I had to find an affordable place, because, you know, when you're starting, you don't want something really expensive, and that was about 2 years ago, right? So I've been doing this for 2 years now. So and then I found a place, and you know, on my first seminar, which, you know, people didn't even know me much, I didn't do much videos, or I didn't have much clients or anything. I was really, you know, little steps I was making. Thank you for the hearts and likes. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Stanislava. And then I had 6 people on my first seminar. Nobody knew who I was, you know. Nobody knew how much wisdom I carry, you know, and they just came. And after that, you know, the amazing thing about the seminar was that it's supposed to be 1 hour. People stayed for 3 hours. And I just want to tell you something. As I didn't have much experience, I did not give them a break on these 3 hours. I was a proper teacher, you know, I was still in my teaching mode. I did not give them a break. For 3 hours, these people stayed and listened. For 3 hours, 6 people stayed and listened, and they did not look in their phones. Can you imagine nowadays to keep the attention of people for 3 hours without looking in their phones? That was amazing. That was, you know, I thought I did the impossible, you know, and that was literally, I was like, I don't know what I did, how I did it, but that was it. It was amazing. So I was entirely grateful for this. But, you know, the confirmation from the numerology, which I do at the moment. So if you guys don't know your mission, and if you need a confirmation, you can book your session. I've put a link above this video for my group. Not for my group, for my page. You can see more videos of me. I have practices, meditations and stuff. And if you want to discover your mission, you're very welcome to book your session. And also the second method, which I fell in love with, which was something that I knew the description of it. I did not know the name or the title, right? I did not know the title of it. So I decided, and so far for me, the method I've chosen is one of the best therapeutic methods that they exist on this planet, right? This is my own opinion, by the way. So the method is called Systemic Family Constellations. There's two, you know, two schools, two schools, I can say. Actually, the interesting thing is that both of the people who discovered this method, they discovered separated from each other, and then they find out that there's somebody else who does the similar thing, and somebody else, and then they work together in a collaboration. So I choose Systemic Family Constellations, which I'm still studying, because this is, you know, when you're on this path, there's no time that you're going to stop studying. So, you know, it's been an amazing journey. I've been practicing with people. I've been practicing with my group. I'm doing family constellation with people. And I'll tell you more about the method a little bit further in the video. I'm still, you know, describing. So first I decided I'm going to go to the French school, which was in France. So, you know, because my other teacher studied by them, and then I decided that I'm gonna go with them, I'm gonna carry on. But then it was too far, it was too hard to manage, and you know, and then there was other things I was, you know, not really happy with. So then I decided that no, I'm not gonna do it. Then I decided I'm gonna go back to Bulgaria and I'm gonna study it there. Then I missed my flight when I had to go back and speak with one of the teachers, and to me that was a sign. I was like, you know, if I never miss my flight, never, but it felt like the universe wanted to stop me not to go. So, okay, because I have planted everything like day after day, you know, to see her, and then she had to go somewhere abroad in another country and everything. So it was really hard to catch her. Anyway, so from there I decided, no, I'm gonna stay and study here in England, and that's where I end up, in the Center of Systemic Constellations, which I'm studying here, and there towards the German school, towards Bert Hellinger, who originally found system and integrated systemic family constellations. You know, my teachers, they've been working alongside with him and everything. Unfortunately, he died last year, but you know, he's still the school is still there. So I'm studying here basically. What else? The method, it's so as I told you guys, I was very interested in finding out why a relationship doesn't work, why people are unhappy, why, you know, all these day-to-day basis problems that nobody teaches you about. Nobody teaches you how to deal with money. Nobody teaches you how to be a good wife or a good husband. All of these you take from your family, right? You copy them because that's the example which you've had. So family constellations can tell you the repetitive patterns you have in the unluck in your life that you have in. It will tell you that everything comes with from your family, yeah. And even though 7 generations back, so each generations, it actually is responsible for different how can I say, for different topic in your life. So for example, you have the 7th generation who is responsible for carrying on the, you know, the whole clan, to carry on the whole family. 6th generation is responsible for your physical health, for your mental health, for your relationships, and so on. So you have 5th generation, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and the first one is you. So each one of them is responsible. So because you might be thinking, oh, it's family constellation, it's something related to family, right? Well, yes, because that's mainly where the whole resource, the whole information is being gathered, and that's where we can open this endless resource, and we can, you know, we can do lots of things in our life. We can have the inner strength to live our life, to be happy, to be stable, to be, you know, and everything. And you might be thinking, but how? So because there's certain laws which I'm gonna describe to you about constellations, which they function with. So first of all is the right, everybody has the right to have a place in the family. No matter if you were a good person or bad person in your family, you have the right to be there because you belong to this family, right? So nobody could be excluded. So then we have the right to belong. Also, the same thing, we cannot be excluded. So you might be thinking about people in your you know, in your family who are excluded, somebody you don't know much about, somebody who your family feels ashamed to talk about, who doesn't want to talk about, somebody who is, you know, let's say he was a drug addict or something like this, and your family doesn't talk about this person. Maybe somebody went into jail, maybe somebody, you know, if you think because I've worked with quite a few people from Germany, and you know, and they feel so ashamed from their grandparents, granddads, and they don't talk about them because they were in the, you know, in the war, and you know, they would participate into killing all those people, and people felt so ashamed from it, and they carry this shame within them. They don't know why they're ashamed of this. They're afraid to be seen in you know, people to see them in cameras, for example. They don't like public speaking. They don't like to be you know, the center of a group or something like this. You know, they don't like these kind of things because they carry lots of shame for this, and this is the shame that their grandparents have, right? I'm going to give you more examples ahead, and I will tell you how in every area in your life, even though it looks like that doesn't have no relation with your family, actually does. Whether it's business, whether it's money, whether it's health, whether it's relationships, everything, because if we look at Eastern spirituality, they rely on free will, right? Yes, I agree as well, but not fully, because we have our free will to say, okay, I don't want to live like that anymore, I need to do something about it, and this is 20%. 80% of our life is actually we're clearing ancestral karma, okay? So this ancestral karma, how does it work? This is how we know it in, you know, this is how we know it in society. But what does it mean to carry ancestral karma? So we as children of our parents, for example, I will give you an example. So I had a client who was around 50 years old person, and he came and he said, listen, I've got a problem with my business, and my business is going downhill because, you know, I know everything in the field. I know how it works. I know everybody. I know every little tricks and things like that. But my business is slipping down my fingers like a sand is going. I can't do anything to save it. I can see it's going, but, you know, I don't know what to do. And he said, you know, it's the third time I'm starting it. I'm ready to give up. And I said, okay. So it's the business, right? And then I asked him, tell me about your family. So he said, oh, my dad is a very successful man and everything. So how does it work, this karma? What happened for this person to fail in his business? He said, so in your unconscious mind, the child in us, because he knows that wants to be loved, he doesn't want to be excluded and everything, he's saying, I am your son. This happens in our unconscious mind, and the child says to the dad, I am your son, and because I'm your son, I'm going to be successful like you. So he brings his business to the top, right? He makes some money, and then the business crashes down. So why does it crashes? And I ask, what happened with your mom? Okay, so he said, Mom, the whole family, when she was little, they were kicked out of the country. They had to migrate to England. And they lost everything. They lost their house. They lost, you know, they had to live only with the clothes on their, you know, on their body. So, and what happens with the child? Because he is loyal to the mom too. So, Mom, I am your child, and as you suffered and you lost everything, I'm gonna suffer and I'm gonna lose everything. Ta-da! There is the answer. So, what do we do in this case? We have certain practices, we have certain words. These are the words of the soul, right? So we as children, as I said, we get entangled. That's the word. So if you imagine you are just entangled in so many, you know, like a string is entangled around you with your mom and your dad, and you need to separate yourself, you know? We have the words of the soul, and we say words which they touch your soul. What does it mean that? These are the words of truth. So, for example, the child will say, Mom, that's your life, and I have my life and my destiny, and I respect your life and your destiny, but I have my own, yeah? Something like this, for example. You know, and then this person needs to separate himself from the mother, from her destiny, from what happened to her, to realize that he's a separate person, and to give back the baggage, right? So very often I have clients saying, oh, you know, my back hurts so much, you know. This is because you are carrying too much emotional baggage from your parents. You can be loyal to their sadness. You can be loyal to their happiness, which is a good thing. You don't want to give that back. You want to carry on. You want to pass it forward, right? But you don't want the negative things, because if you think, our ancestors, our grandparents, they went through everything and they survived, right? They survived and they managed to pass on life ahead, right? So in this case, we need to respect that. We need to honor it. We need to bow. The bowing is very, very important. And our responsibility is not to give back something to our parents, is to give to life, you know, to either produce and make another life, or to make something bigger for other people and for the society, right? Because not everybody, you know, sometimes it's the destiny. Sometimes we cannot carry on, you know, but we cannot carry on the life, you know. So that's why we can do something bigger and greater for everybody. So where I was, I'm just thinking what else to tell you, because this is a very, very important thing. And if you understand some of those laws, believe me, you're just gonna have definitely an easier life. So we have, okay, we were talking about the place. So everybody has the right to belong, and even somebody who saved your family. So for example, somebody went and saved your family from a fire, you know, so, you know, the firemen. So they belong to your family. Whoever has done something good or bad, maybe somebody had killed somebody in your family. So for example, back in the wars, this person also belongs to your family. You have no judgment on this. You shouldn't have a judgment. and you because this person did something to your family. So because this person killed somebody, it has impacted the rest of the family, right? Because you didn't have, you know, somebody from the family, and these things, you know, sometimes could be accidents and things like that. So then we have the time. So whoever has come first in the family. So let's say the older are before the younger ones, right? And the youngers are ahead. So first you have to admire your grandparents, then your parents, then is you, then is your children, and then is their children, and so forth, right? So we should make sure we are not parents of our own parents, because when we think we are wiser than them, when we inflame ourselves, we think we are bigger, we know more, we know better, our parents doesn't, they are this and that, and we blame them for 100 things in our life that doesn't work, which is all you know, that means that you're frozen in some trauma as a child, and you're still expecting from your parents to be better parents, but they cannot, because they do the best they could. They did actually the best they could. So you need to, you know, the hierarchy must be kept. Then we have the right to belong. Everybody has the right to belong, no matter what they do. And here I'm going to open a bracket about belonging, because this is a big topic. Believe me, so many people don't have feeling that they belong anywhere, and this is because of their family. So also it's very important if you have any abortions. Yeah, so no matter if they were done on purpose, or if you know, they were just spontaneous, or you know, you had, I'm sorry, my terms in English are not the best in this case. You know, maybe some child died when he was little, or something like this. You know, it's very important to say to the kids that, for example, a woman had an abortion before her second child was born. So it was the abortion, and then she gave birth to one healthy child who was, you know, who was born and grew up and everything. And this child thinks it's the first child, right? And because him, for example, it's a boy, doesn't know that he could have a sister, and the sister was first actually. He thinks he's the first, and we have two outcomes of this. If they don't know, first they could you know, they could take drugs, they could drink alcohol, they could you know, do you know, driving a car really fast, or things like that. You know, they could not listen very well. That's the first option. The second option is they can overwork themselves, because they need to fulfill space for two, right? So it's very important to let them know. It's very important to tell them. And so you need to say, you know, for example, you could have had a brother or a sister, you know, but they couldn't make it, you know, they were not born, but you're my second child. And I could have, you know, we could have two children, but we have just you, and you're the second one. And you will see the difference in your child. You know, you'll see how much they will be different, because they will feel like, oh, you know, sometimes even the kids who, you know, they're too much attached to their teddy bears, or you know, they have imaginary friend and things like that. Sometimes that could be the soul of their, you know, brother or sister. You know, they feel it, they know. Until they're 4, 5, 6, they still know these kind of things. Their senses are still open. So you guys need to be aware of this, and it's important for them to know. And then we have the fourth law, which is giving and receiving. So here we come with ladies who have problems with, they could have panic attacks, they could have an anxiety, you know, they could be different triggers for it, but it could be that too. Or they have problems with their breasts and things like that. This is because their heart is closed, and it's because they don't have the ability to receive. So you think, oh, receiving, so easy, somebody give you a gift, you just put your hands, you take it, you're happy, done. No, doesn't work like this. How does it work in our unconscious mind and you know, into the dynamic? That's why it's called dynamic, because these are, you know, strings and things that we don't see, we don't feel, we don't touch, we feel, but we have no explanation about. we don't know how, because it's hard. It's difficult for our mind to understand this. So giving and receiving, first, when you're a giver, you are in control. You know what you're gonna give. I'm deciding I'm gonna give you a beautiful pen. I give you a beautiful pen, but the person who is receiving doesn't know what he's going to get, and this person doesn't know whether if he will like the pen or not. Okay, and you're in control. Yeah, you've given, and you can hear women very often saying, I'm giving so much out of myself, I don't get anything. Why is it like this? My boyfriend doesn't appreciate me, he doesn't give me any presents, and this and that. And I keep on telling him, this is because you don't have the ability to receive. You're not open to receive because you like to be in control. So for women, it's very important to let the control go and to relax. Okay. And then what happens to the other person when he receives something? He takes it, and then it's this dance of giving and receiving, where the other person will wait to receive something. It's not we're giving something in order to receive. We're just giving because we want to. But this person will wait to receive, and that's why in relationship is a constant dance of giving and receiving. And if we understand this, and if we always complete this circle, then we're gonna have a happy relationship. So it's very important for in our relationships to give a little bit more. If we want to increase our relationship, if we want to make it richer and bigger and more stronger, we give a little bit more. So our for example, you love, I don't know, you love food, and your boyfriend has cooked you very nice dinner, but you know that he likes I don't know, he likes something else. He likes to watch movie. And then what you can do, you can buy him a ticket, and you can guys go on a very big I don't know, cinema, which is with very comfortable sofas and things like that. So you do something for him as well, but a little bit bigger. Maybe he likes this a lot. And it's important also, when they do something bad, it's good to give it back. So that it might be strange for you, you might not like it, but it's good to give them back, but a little bit less painful than it was for you, right? So this is also the balance of giving and receiving. So forgiveness is not really an option. That's what that's what the philosophy of the teaching is saying. I'm just repeating the information. I don't know myself how I'm still coming into terms with this, because I don't know. What they're saying is that when you forgive, you're still giving something from yourself, and you have to still keep the balance. So sometimes you just say, I'm not ready to accept what you did yet, so give me some time to accept it, something like this. Anyway, so and when the person receives, when they receive something, they need to give something back. And when when they're giving something back, sometimes it could be just thank you, from your heart. If it's from your heart. If it's not from your heart, the other person will be like, oh, they're so unappreciative, they don't know how to appreciate, they're not grateful, and things like that. But obviously there's a price for it. Everything comes with a price. Nothing comes for free. So yeah, these are the main laws, and I'm just gonna tell you the whole process of family constellation and how it works. Normally it's a group. One of the options is to do it in a group. Not everybody likes groups. Not everybody wants to be vulnerable and to say to everyone what their problem. So in the group we have facilitator, that's me. We have the issue holder, somebody else who has the issue, and then we have representatives. So this person who is the issue holder shares some facts of their family. I don't need to know the whole story, just little facts from here and there, and then he chooses representatives for whatever problem it is. So let's say this person, what could be the example, gets fired very often from work. So this is a pattern. The pattern is the first things that we can detect what's happening in our life. So there's something karmic going on, something from the past. So when it's a repetitive pattern, the system, the field wants us to see. It's like, see me, this is repeating. Why is it repeating? There's something else very different. Maybe you can you can think in for your own life. There's the syndrome for the dates. So the syndromes of the dates. So for example, something tragic happened in your family on a certain date, and then something tragic can happen into your life as well. So I had somebody who said, oh, they I was robbed on this day and that day and things like that, and and she would take it so there is such a big tragedy, and I was like, what did they steal from you? And she was like, my passport and everything. I have no documents. And I said, yeah, you can go and you can take out some new ones and things like that. And then what turns out that on this exact date, actually her family lost their house. It burned. So it's the syndromes of the date. So it's good to be aware. You can reflect on your life and you can see if something particular is happening on certain date. So maybe you're always splitting with boyfriends at I had somebody always splitting with boyfriends at Christmas. So that's when their parents split at Christmas as well. So you can see all these kind of patterns. So we have the issue holder, we have the representatives, we have the facilitator, and then it's like the issue holder stands up, chooses representatives for their mother, father, for their granddad, and things like that. And as I gave the example, maybe this person was fired very often. So what turns out, we chose somebody from her father's side who was he was doing some dark stuff. He would do some illegal stuff and things like that, and he impacted lots of lives and lots of people, and it was quite tragic. And then this person was taken over and gotten fired because of her granddad, who was actually excluded from the family because nobody wanted him anymore as he was doing these criminal things, and he was excluded. And here is the system where it says, if you imagine all 7 generations and you, and then you have the field of knowledge, and then the field of knowledge is like, there was this granddad, where this granddad disappeared, there's an empty space. And then it takes you, for example, if you're the one who chose to to repeat the pattern, and he puts you on his place. And that's where the places are being messed up. And then that's why these things are happening in your life, because you're entangled and you're loyal and things like that. So that's what it turns out, because the granddad was excluded, and when she recognized him, when she said, oh, I see you and I will always carry you in my heart, you belong to our family, she gave him the right to belong. Then she was able to set herself free from this repetitive pattern of being always getting fired from work. So yes, and we can do one-to-one sessions, which are normally we do them at the moment. I do them online. Here and there people want to be live, but we are trying to adjust with whatever's happening. So they still work. It's amazing. I work either visualization, so it's meditation, so like it's a kind of meditation. And also I have little figures, little men and women, where we chose them, we place them, so we see the dynamic, what's going on. So because it's a 10-day challenge, and guys, I told you that we in the next 10 days, every day we're going to be together from 6 o'clock. I hope I'll keep the time every day at 6, because depending on my schedule as well, but I'm sure you will be okay. And I'm gonna introduce you more and more deeper into the work. I'm gonna show you a demo, we're gonna do some work, we're gonna go through all the generations, and we will see each one is how is impacting your life and what does exactly represent for you. And at the end we're gonna do a demo. So if you want to try, if you want to listen to a meditation or to know a little bit more, I've posted my page up there in the description, so you can follow me if you are interested, and if you already know some you know, you already heard of the method and you always been curious and you're listening to this video, of course you can book your session with me. That's, you know, there's nothing, it's just coincidence. There's no coincidence you've been sitting and listening to me for an hour. I don't know how long it's been so far, but you know, for a while. So I would recommend this because it's the best therapy ever. I'm telling you, it's you know, I help myself, I help my family, friends around, and everything is just impacting even without them doing much work on themselves. So it's just amazing. So yes, so thank you very much for being with me. I'll see you tomorrow, and in the next 10 days it's going to be a challenge. Keep in tune, you know, keep in touch here. If you have any questions, you can text me. You can write it either under the on the comments, or you can write them, you know, in private message. And if you want to book a session, you can message me directly on my page, Juliette Atanasova. And yeah, that's it from me from today. Thank you very much. Bye bye.